Hey, what's up, cunts? It's your boy Mackers here for another legit movie review. What movie do we have with us today, Eden?
Alright guys, today we are reviewing the infamous Emoji movie. Can we get a round of applause? I know.
It's such a deep movie with meaning. It has tons of meaning.
Now, I know some of you out there are like, the Emoji movie, that's terrible. You see those Rotten Tomato reviews and you're like, I spit on the Emoji movie. But I'm here to tell you, don't make that assumption, because it blew me away.
It's quite the
Every
film.
aspect I thought.
The graphics, you could tell, was 4K optimal. We'll just start with the graphics.
Completely off guard.
I just want to start out by saying that the directors of the film, they just deserve to be like given a raise, just because they've done so much for the community of the world. They've blessed us. Our generation is the greatest generation to live because we've been blessed with this movie. Can you agree to that?
I can attest to that. I must say, if this, we are so lucky to be living in the time that we do, because this movie exists. I mean, if we were born just a little bit later, we could have missed out on this experience. I just really emotional.
After viewing the movie, we had one thought in our minds, and that was, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
And that's really is true.
That's what Gene...
Alright, but enough talk about that. We're gonna get into the actual movie now. What we liked, what we disliked. Are you kidding? Didn't dislike anything. Such a great movie.
What a joke.
Dislike for the Emoji movie? What are you?
An animal?
Jesus.
There were no shit aspects about the Emoji movie, were there? Get it?
Except for Patrick Stewart's character.
Man, oh man, what a masterpiece this really is.
For those of you that do not know, Patrick Stewart played the character of Poop in the Emoji movie.
Where do we start? What aspect? Pick an aspect and we'll discuss it.
Start with the opening of the film. I mean, might as well take it from the top.
Oh my gosh. It just starts out with your boy, Gene. You know, and he's just to give you a little bit of background on the film, Gene is a meh emoji, and his one job in Textopolis is to be the meh emoji. And he can't simply portray that. He has mixed feelings about mixed feelings about many things. And that's pretty much illegal in Textopolis. So, do you want to take it from here?
You see, Gene lives in a post-apocalyptic society. You see, he's only allowed to be one thing, and that one thing only. All throughout the film, the opening of the film opens up on Gene getting ready for his first day of work as the Met emoji. And he's walking down the street, and he's making other emoji faces, and people are spitting on him, scoffing at him, running away from him, because he's not doing what he's supposed to be. But you know what? In the end, Gene rises above and embraces who he is. That's why it's such a great film.
And one of the main underlying messages of the film is that you shouldn't be afraid to express who you truly are. Like said, he's oppressed and can't actually express his true feelings like a normal emoji should.
Well said, well said.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, where things really shake up in the film is when Gene has his first day of work. He is in the cube. He's in his cube. He's on the keyboard. And my boy Alex is trying to get the girl Addie. And he goes to pick that super important emoji. And you know who he picks? He picks the boy Gene. But Gene, he has some first day jitters, goes off, starts making a bunch of faces. and
Mhm.
he blows it. He blows his first chance. He blows
Yeah.
it. He's a defector.
And the antagonist of the story that you find out very quickly in the film, her name is Smiler, and she's an emoji that is supposed to be always happy, but has a very angry personality. And
Smiler is actually the very first emoji.
correct,
That's
and
important. That's very important.
she feels privileged compared to everyone else, and she tries to actually she sets bots after Gene and attempts to kill him. And then later he runs away from Textopolis with the help of High Five, which is
No, he's another misfit. Now, High Five's backstory is a little bit interesting. In many ways, he's kind of like Gene's goofy sidekick, but I mean, you know, he has his ups and downs, but really, he adds a lot to the story. I mean,
correct. Well said.
but his backstory is he's the High Five emoji. He used to be one of Alex's favorite emojis, his #1. But then all of a sudden, he stopped using him. He hasn't even used him for weeks. Now all the other emojis look down on High Five, and they bully him. So he wants to go with Gene on his adventure, so he can once again fit in with the rest of the emojis.
Well said. And they quickly learn that to do anything, they have to get hacked in a sense. And they move deeper into the piracy app, where they meet a girl character named Jailbreak. And Jailbreak's the hacker, or later we'll find out is Gene's significant other. Haha! And together, they try to find themselves in a way.
Well said, well said.
Thank you.
Now, things take a turn when they meet Jailbreak. They first meet Jailbreak at a bar, the piracy app. And the bots sweep in and come looking for Gene, and then they escape. Now, Jailbreak is a little reluctant to help them at first. But then she sees Gene, and his many different... Gene expresses himself in many different faces, and Jailbreak is drawn to this. Because we find out that that's what she's been seeking her entire life. And she decides to help them, and help Gene along his journey.
Well said. Very well said.
To find himself.
And later we also see that there's a myth that the princess emoji actually has escaped the phone and has launched herself onto the cloud. But later we see that...
Jailbreak's help.
Yeah, with Jailbreak's help. But later we see that the princess is actually Jailbreak herself, after a wig is revealed during an intense Just Dance session.
Just Dance available on the iOS and the Google Play Store.
Correct.
Just Dance app. But actually, the Just Dance scenes is actually one of my favorite scenes for many reasons.
Yeah.
The music.
Mm.
Beautiful colors, beautiful representation of the Just Dance app. It was wonderful. The music was so good, and the scene was so good. I was up out of my seat dancing in the theater.
I think I can agree with that. The theater was packed, by the way. It was packed to the brim. There was 4 of us in the entire theater. 2 very loud, obnoxious younger folk. And we may have been out of our seats dancing. Yes, I'll agree.
I agree. We were getting a little bit rowdy, but come on, we were invested in this. It was beautiful.
And just to say, the amount of dabs that went on was at least over 100 throughout the film. That's how good it was.
Fantastic. Now, the second reason why I love the Just Dance scene, now a little background, they're taking the Just Dance app as a shortcut to get to Dropbox, so they can go to the cloud, fix themselves, you know, have all their dreams, whatever. Okay? But in order to move forward, they have to dance. But Jailbreak, you know, she can't dance. It just doesn't work for her. But, you know, Gene, in that moment, teaches her how to express herself, and Gene and Jailbreak share this bond that's just, and it starts in that moment, and it's beautiful. Their chemistry on screen, amazing. Every moment they have together is just it's just amazing. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it.
And you can visually see this too. The directors did quite an amazing job with the animation. You look and Jailbreak and Gene take a look into each other's eyes, and you can just see right then and there they're meant for each other. Kind of that cliche movie thing, and I think it was genius of the directors. Did we just get kicked out of the party? No, they,
Our UAV is online.
yeah, hold for the remainder of the review, okay? Yeah, we look like X. Are you kidding? Or pressing. Go ahead, yeah, create the party, because it'll just, like, glitch out my game.
Enemy UAV is airborne.
Oh, shit.
Enemy UAV is airborne.
We are? Alright, good. We finally have this under control. Where did we leave off? Do you remember? So, wait, just a quick apology for the network error. It both kicked us from the party, so I'm not sure how that audio
You
turned
can
out.
pick up. I think we picked up. We were talking about Gene and Jailbreak's relationship, I believe.
Charlie, secure.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. So throughout the film,
Securing B.
it's very nice to see Gene and Jailbreak grow. Very satisfying. Because, you know, I could relate to Gene because,
Alpha.
I mean, of course I am quite the ladies' man, but Gene just couldn't express his feelings. And we see that when he meets Jailbreak, he finally knows that she's the one. And it's such a beautiful film in that aspect because the directors did such a good job.
Securing B.
Perfect. Now,
Helicopter support standing by.
after Just Dance,
Secure.
we're gonna skip over High Five getting. Oh no, we're not. Can't skip
Enemy
over.
UAV is airborne.
Alright.
Friendly chopper
It's a very sad moment, so if you have tissues nearby, I'd
Yeah,
just get them
please.
ready because this is a very
You
sad
might
moment.
cry. You might cry. Alright, in Just Dance. Okay, your boy Alex, the owner of the phone, they're in Just Dance. He's in class, boom, music starts going off all over the place, all over his phone. Everyone's laughing at him. So what does he do? He quickly deletes the Just Dance app. No, I know. How could he do such a thing? But Gene, Jailbreak, and High Five are all still inside. So they all try and rapidly escape, but High Five doesn't make it. He gets deleted. He ends up in the trash can. Gene and Jailbreak make it out. There's just a touching moment that I really want to go over. Okay? Jailbreak, they're right next to Dropbox. Jailbreak just wants to escape. Gene says, no, you will not leave my friend High Five. High Five is my boy.
And this
He's
leads to
my
one of the
friend.
greatest quotes in the movie.
Yes.
It's something that you can really
Yes.
take home and understand for yourself, even if you don't like the film, which is absurd. But if you don't enjoy the film, you can still take away this meaningful quote. And if you'd like to tell them that.
Okay. Jailbreak says to Gene, but you should always be looking out for number one. And Gene says, what's the good in being number one if there's no other numbers?
Well said, Gene.
Convinces Jailbreak, to help him save High Five. And they do. They make it.
It was very easy rescue,
Yeah,
actually.
it was,
Quite
yeah,
easy.
it was pretty easy. But then Smiler, the evil Smiler, creates a super bot to destroy them all. It hurts.
Okay, well said, well said. And the super bot, they actually use their genius minds, and the super bot comes from in the maze. And, oh wait, oh my god, we missed a key aspect. Because, Jean's parents are also Mez. And in the film, they're not getting along when they're, you know, trying to find Jean. And the wife says that he's not the same man that she met. And they split their ways. And they meet in the photo and they come together. It's such a beautiful moment that just warms your heart.
Yes, this is. I almost forgot about this.
Yeah, I know, it's such a key aspect. And oh my word.
This is a great subplot. It really adds a lot to the story. I'm thankful for the directors for adding it because it was fantastic. You know, eventually, Mrs. Meh, Jean's mother, comes to Instagram and she enters a photo, a Paris trip that Alex once went on. And she sits by the fountain and contemplates, just worried, stricken with grief about where her son is. And then she turns around and sees her husband. He's been there for her. She says that she's been looking for Jean, but he says that he's been looking for her to tell her how he really
touching
feels.
moment.
Enemy helicopter inbound.
And
Securing
when
B.
he turns around,
Enemy has A.
he has a tear on his face. He is just like Jean. He can also create different expressions. That is where Jean received his gift.
Losing Charlie.
From
And
his
one of the
father.
main underlying questions of the film that I personally had was that they're all considered malfunctions because they have more than, they don't have, I mean, yes, they have more than one expression and they can feel more things, but are they really the malfunctions? Or are the other emojis the malfunctions because they have no ability to feel,
I
as
agree.
we learn later in the film?
They can't express who they are. They like
Yes,
good
it's a
point,
quite
Mason. Good.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Where do we leave off before the parents and shit?
They juke out the Superbot.
Oh yes, they juke out the Superbot by combining forces, and they eventually tangle him up, but he gets freed and he chases them, and what happens is truly amazing. Oh, Smiler quickly, or no, that's wrong. What happens is that they make it past him, and they make it to the firewall. And this is a very, very touching.
They make it the drop box. They make it the drop box.
Oh yeah, they make it the drop box, and he cannot get in for some reason. And what happens next is that they get uploaded into a chair.
He's illegal malware and Dropbox is
Oh, correct.
system. Yeah.
And so what happens is that they get put on a couch kind of chair, and they get launched through a data stream up to the firewall. And this is where things get interesting. And we actually learned a little bit about the user of the phone, Alex, in this exact moment. Because they cannot guess, and the reason Jailbreak is interested in Jean is because he has so many different expressions, and the firewall is recognized on what's it called, user identification.
Yeah. Some background for the firewall. This is some of Jailbreak's backstory actually. She tried to escape to the cloud once before, and except she couldn't guess the password for the firewall. And how the firewall works is it scans your face, and it only gives you one attempt per face. Now, since your boy Gene do all these different facial expressions, he has technically unlimited tries to get the password.
Correct.
Which is exactly what he does.
And they're all running out of hope. And this is actually a very key moment for High Five, because It may seem that he doesn't have a very important role, but after guessing so many passwords, they can't figure anything out. They're like, would Gene ever consider making his password a female character because is he interested in a girl? And Jailbreak explains that she's been all over the phone, and High Five, while in the trash, which was a very key moment for the film, while he was placed in the trash, after falling, he finds an email from a girl, or he finds a deleted email that Alex was going to send to Addie, which is, eventually, we learn, the girl that he's interested in, and they try it one time and they get through the firewall.
They make it through.
Make it
the
through.
firewall and are sent into the cloud. Now,
Coming up on the most touching moment of the movie, in my opinion.
This is one of the most gut-wrenching, painful moments in the film. Okay? Gene has finally made it to the cloud. They have access to the source code, and they can fix him, so he can only make one expression, like all the other aliens. Like, Jailbreak enters and begins to hack it and bring up the source code. And Gene goes after her. He says to her that he no longer, that from his adventure with her, he learned that he doesn't want to be one expression anymore. He wants to fully express himself. And what he wants more than that is to live in the cloud forever with Jailbreak. This girl. You know what Jailbreak does? She shoots him down!
After
she says no!
She just says she doesn't feel like... she feels like he's a really cool guy, but that's not what the deal was, and she's just not ready.
She's not ready. Now,
oh my god.
Tears Gene apart. He becomes the ultimate emoji without any tinkering.
And he exits High Five, starts a conversation with him saying, wow, that code must have really worked. And Gene, just, the most painful moment. You could the feels goes, I didn't need the code. She did it for me.
The only thing she could make me feel was meh.
And then the next thing that happens. The next thing that happens. Gene walks away, and reaching through the firewall, reaches the mega bot that Smiler created just to go track down Gene and bring him back so they could kill him. And when what the fuck's her name? Jailbreak exits and talks with High Five, he explains to her quickly that he has been captured, and that's when she realizes that it's her. She gets a second chance. Fuck, dude, I'm not playing Ambush. Back us the hell out. And they exit, and together they go back and they make it to Textopolis just before he's about to die. And they fly through the roof. Oh wait.
Whoa!
Yeah, I skipped a bunch. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, this is backwards in the film a little bit, but when Jeannie and High Five first discover that she is, in fact, a princess, the fallen princess, they ask her, hey, if you're a princess, when you sing, do birds come? And she says, no! Why would you be so stereotypical, you meanie head? And then they get all offended and they're like, okay, guess not. Well, in this moment of the film, to rescue Jean, she sings, and the Twitter bird comes in and flies them all the way to Textopolis so they can save Jean. Beautiful. It's comparable with Lord of the Rings and the Eagles. It's wonderful. Certainly not a cop-out by the writers. It's great.
Well said. And what happens next is truly beautiful. It's an act of selflessness from High Five and Jailbreak as they crash to the roof and together disable the Megabot by hacking and running code and turning him off. It was just very beautiful, I thought, and how that act of selflessness really shows that she actually does care about him.
Now, meanwhile, outside of the phone, Alex is fed up. His phone keeps acting all weird. It keeps messing up his things with Addie. He's done. He goes to the phone store. He's deleting everything. He's wiping his phone. Everyone inside is going to die. As they are all being deleted, they have one chance. Gene, the man with many faces. However, he's in memory, but Jailbreak talks him out of it. And his parents, they inspire him to give it a shot. Everyone in Textopolis is just looking for Gene to be their hero. He does. He walks up to the cube, he gets scanned, and he creates the one and only animated emoji, which Alex sends to Addie, and it earns her. It gets him a date to the dance, and he decides not to wipe his phone after all. And Gene has saved everyone.
And what's truly beautiful about this moment is that it also shows the underlying theme of expressing yourself, because he was sending one emoji and it wasn't winning her over, but as soon as he sent all those expressions, she explained that she likes a guy that can express himself. And that shows, and I
Just
saw
like
a little bit of
Jailbreak.
Jailbreak inside of Addie, correct, because of this very moment. It was truly beautiful.
Breathtaking.
And before going any longer, I'm very upset we missed a very, very big key moment that we talked about discussing, and that is the Spotify stream.
Yes.
If you could start us off on that.
Forget about the Spotify. Okay. Background for the Spotify scene. This is one of the most painful moments of the film, because it tore my heart apart. I was Gene in this moment. It tore me apart. Okay. Now, when High Five is kidnapped, they take a shortcut through Spotify. They're riding the waves of sound in Spotify, and they have this scene where it's Gene and Jailbreak just talking, and they look into each other's eyes, deeply, intensely. They lean in together, and they lean in for a kiss, and then they're shaken up. They've reached their destination. They're distracted. They move on. Let's go to rescue High Five. It just,
It's just
hurts
it's a
me.
feeling of
It
destruction, because
it
the
destroyed me, because the movie it gave this to me. I wanted it so bad. I feel for my man Gene. He's the GOAT. I mean, he saved Textopolis. Like, he's the greatest. And he's interrupted with Jim,
wait, can you hear me?
and it just destroys me. Yeah, I can hear
Okay, good. I think I lagged out. Let me just check
it.
quick.
Destroyed me.
Alright, we're good. Okay. I feel the same way, and another key point is that it just pushes that, like, feeling of satisfaction of their love on even farther, and it just keeps building up until you can barely take it anymore. And go back to when he saves off Textopolis, that's when you feel very relieved, because it's yelling at. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
I think he's yelling at me, saying I can't. Wait, let me check quick before I go any longer. Here, let me check quick. Technical difficulties.
Hold position locked down. Hold what you've got. Losing Charlie.
Alright, we're good. What were we talking about?
Jailbreak and Dean at the end. Their
What?
closing relationship.
Oh, one of the most beautiful moments of the film.
You need to find a word other than beautiful.
Exuberant. Exuberant.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just got a question.
Oh, no.
A question from the. Okay.
Wait for that.
Okay, hold on. Kupalaga. We'll be right with you in a few minutes.
Position is covered.
Now I'm distracted.
Securing scene. Enemy has
I don't know what to say. I'm like
Right.
dying.
Basically, at the end of the film, Smiler, she's out. She's no longer running the place. You know, instead, all emojis are welcome to act however they want because everyone needs them. Gene is one of Alex's favorite emojis because he can express himself in many ways with his animations. But, however, Gene and Jailbreak, although it's left a little ambiguous at the end about their relationship, but I'm pretty sure that they are together. Now, but one of the most important questions I have, I don't know. I'm not sure if any scientists out there can answer this question. I'm not sure. But Gene is the son of two Met emojis. His dad's a Met and his mom's a Met. And his dad is able to make multiple expressions like Gene, so that's where he gets his power from, blah blah blah. So my question is, if Gene and Jailbreak fucked and had a baby, what emoji would it be?
Exactly.
Leave it down in the comments what you think.
Yeah, Kupalaga. I'm gonna have to. You said the Gene Smash. That's what we're talking about. So I'm gonna have to have you put down in the comments what you think, what emoji would come out of this, and we'll just me and D here will discuss it intelligently and thoroughly because we are emoji movie experts and high respected critics.
Actually, speaking of critics, that's something I would like to talk about. Okay? The Emoji Movie critic reviews. Alright, yeah. They're low. I won't lie to you people. They're low. But you know what? They're meaningless. What are the movie critics? They're a bunch of old people. They didn't grow up with smartphones, emojis. That stuff's now. That stuff's for us kids. Okay? These old people don't understand the world that the Emoji Movie was trying to create. And that's their problem. That's why they can't fully
I think I
embrace
agree.
this movie.
These old fucks think they know something.
It frustrates me because they're talking about something they have no idea about, and they're just destroying it for everything that it is. And it's kind of
And these 40-year-old females think they know what we're talking about when it comes to emoji, but they probably can't even spell the word because it's so futuristic and an idea that millennials experience.
It's such a new thing, yeah.
And I did get a response from Kupalaga. He thinks the mixture between Jailbreak and Gene would be a hooker emoji.
That doesn't make sense because that's not an emoji. But
That's not an emoji. Kupalaga, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Haha, relevance.
But you want to wrap things up?
Was there any very important key aspects that we need to talk about just right before we end?
Alright.
I'm trying to think. What was there we missed? Oh, he said. Oh, the other question I forgot to ask you. What does the poop emoji do in this film? Would you like to give some light on that?
Securing Charlie.
The poop emoji is a legendary. He's a seasoned veteran he's the perfect emoji. He's wonderful. He's like a celebrity around the place. Everyone loves him.
And oh no, Kupalaga said the eggplant emoji now is the sun. But
Well, the eggplant emoji was featured in the movie.
yeah, it was in the underused emojis, which I think is a bit inaccurate.
Yes.
Because all these millennials are, making comments like, "Book gang niggas, we making all these bands," and I think that as we experience this later, the eggplant may become more relevant, but that's really not important to discussion currently. Because Alex is 14, and unless him and Addie are making the little emojis, then
Yep. Illuminati. The goats. Let's see. Sum things up for me. The Emoji Movie. One of the greatest cinematic masterpieces on this earth at the moment.
Pretty much.
It's unbelievable. You know, it's sightseeing. Like the scenes they create in the movie are beautiful. It's breathtaking scenery, and it's just great. The plot, wonderful. It's so well written. My biggest compliments to the directors for writing this. It's great. I mean, the plot's fantastic. Every joke in the movie, the joke's great.
Oh my god.
Every single joke landed for me. There was not a single
Yeah, it
joke
hit.
where I did not just burst out in the theater laughing. It was wonderful. It was quite good comedy.
And one of my favorite jokes, I'm going to point this out just because it was so good, but I'm
Okay.
interrupting you, is when he asks the clock if it's actually the time, and he looks at the hands of the clock, and the clock responds with, "Hey, my eyes are up here."
That was good. That was one of my favorite ones as well. So, to wrap it up for me, I would give the Emoji Movie 3,047,000 meh emojis out of jailbreak emojis. It was that good.
Wow, that's pretty good. I'd also like to add that this is one of the most great. I don't think I've talked to any human being on this planet other than D that enjoyed this film. Everyone just trashes on it because it's not good enough. Okay, I don't appreciate that because it's such a
those people are
cinematic
the people that haven't even
masterpiece.
given the film a chance.
Um,
I'm sorry, it just makes me angry.
it's just very. It's saddening. It's just saddening to think about it. I just want to cry sometimes because people aren't optimistic about it.
I know, people give the movie a chance. Don't give it a chance.
Wrap things up in some. And someone wants to know a question: did Alex smash? I'm really hoping because he was like 1 year old. He was an infant, so I'm really hoping. And what else? Fuck. I got just one other thing I'd like to point out is that if you do not watch this by the time you die, your life is not fulfilled. I was hoping the entire time that some kid with an M14 would have popped out right in the middle of the theater and shot me in the head because I would have died doing one of my favorite hobbies in the world, and that's watching the Emoji Movie.
Well said.
And to end things, with the review being over, always remember in life, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Hey.